Kyle with Inside the Play again. We're going to take a look at one of Clemson's staple plays and how Alabama may defend it. This is really just a modern version of the triple option. And Clemson comes out here in the Fiesta Bowl against Ohio State. They have a trips, 3 receivers, open. If you have a tight end, it's closed. If you have a wide receiver split, it's open. This guy is not split. See how these guys have their feet offset? He's square-footed. He's right off the tackle's hip. That's a wing. So we would call this trips with a wing open. Your quarterback's in shotgun, and you're really in an offset pistol. As you can see, Wayne Gallman here is set just slightly off because Watson's on the hash. He's slightly off, but he's in a pistol formation. Ohio State's in a goal line type formation, but it's also still a 4-2-5. You've got one DB. He is man-to-man, man-to-man, man-to-man. Your free safety's man on the back. So there are your 5 DBs. 1, 2, 3, 4 linemen, 2 linebackers. Okay? So your man-to-man, man-to-man. This guy's job is to mimic him. If he arcs on a release, he's man. If he crashes to block, he's setting the edge. This guy's responsibility is going to be in this C gap, B gap, A gap, A gap, B gap, C gap, and if the back comes downhill, a run play or whatever, he's going to be a free release. So what you're going to have here is Clemson's going to arc the wing, and when he arcs, he's going to release with him. That's his rule. So the wing's going to block him. This guy here is the key, the defensive end. His job is to take quarterback. When you have the handoff here, the quarterback's reading this defensive end. This defensive end can sit, and that quarterback's going to give it, or he can crash, the quarterback's going to keep it. And teams make that call depending on who they want to have the football. So does Ohio State want Deshaun Watson to keep the ball, or they want Wayne Gallman to have the ball? All right, so you'll see right here when they roll the play. Boom. He sticks it in the gut. This guy swings. There's dive, quarterback, pitch. He's got pitch. He's arcing, so he's got to release with him. He has to have quarterback. All of these guys are on dive. He's got to have quarterback. That's how it's supposed to be designed. But the eye candy's too much. He crashes down to make the play. No one goes to Watson. You can see he realizes he messed up. So he's trying to recover, but it was too late. The eye candy was too much. Now, it's real easy for me to sit here and say this, but when you're in a goal line situation, you're coming downhill and you're saying they're going to run it right at us, that's what they have in mind. So it's an easy walk-in touchdown for Watson and puts Clemson up 10-0. Now, Alabama's seen something like that this year. This is against Texas A&M early in the game. They lined up an ace with a wing and motioned this guy through. So they've ended up in essentially the same formation. The back is not back in pistol as much as he's in regular alignment, but it's a similar idea. Alabama's also in a 1, 2, 3, 4 down, 2 linebacker type set. Alabama's in a little bit different coverage, but you're basically still in a 4-2-5. This guy's a DB who's going to be rolling in to help, but you're in the same type personnel as Ohio State had there. So what you're going to see is it's going to be the same thing. They're not going to arc anybody for a pass option, but if they did, Eddie here would have them. This guy will arc, and when he does, Ronnie is going to go outside with him. This is hand. Hand will be unblocked. He's the read guy. And Alabama's making the decision on this play, how they had it drawn up. They want to make the ball hand off. They don't want Trevor Knight to run it. So as you'll watch, boom, right now, Hand gets his hands on the offensive tackle and he sits. Where Ohio State's player was crashing inside, he sits. And you can look right there. His eyes are on the defensive end. He's reading the defensive end. Defensive end sits. That's a give read. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this DB's getting in on the action. You got 5 guys on dive. Look at Ronnie's eyes. When he sees this arc, he releases outside. Now his eyes go to quarterback. 1, 2 on quarterback. 5 on dive. You don't have a pitch option. Now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on 5, and you think your guys are better than them and they can make a play. So, boom, hand sits with it. Ronnie sits with it, forces the handoff. Great job two-gapping here. Great job right here with great use of hands by Darren Payne. And you're going to see why I believe Ryan Anderson should have been an All-American with this play. One-on-one with the tackle. He's a two-gap player. Throws the tackle away. Ryan Anderson with a tackle for loss. That's as good of a play as you can make. And I feel like that's how Alabama's probably going to play against one of Clemson's main plays. We do not want Deshaun Watson on the edge. If Watson's out running on the edge, I don't like our chances. I'd much rather us have Gallman running in the middle of our defense. So I feel like that's probably what Alabama's going to do. Clemson is as good of a team as we faced all year and the best team we faced in the last 2 years because I feel like they're better than they were last year. So hope for the best and roll tide.